So I got my Umidigi F1 on Tuesday. So it's been a little bit over 48 hours and it's going pretty good so far. Um, I am currently running Nova Launcher as it gives me more icons on the screen, and the default launcher is only 4 icons wide and about 4 icons high on the screen. So Nova gives me more customization as I can use custom icons. So I'm currently using, let's see here, the um, Pixelful, as you can see there. Nice and quick. I went in and turned off the animations. If you go down to System, and About Phone, hit the build number about 7 times, and then it will say you have developer options turned on. Go into developer options, go down until you see transition animation scale, animator duration scale, and the window animation scale, and turn those off, and it makes everything much quicker. Also, if you search for read if you search for, let's see, animations, and go into accessibility and remove animations, it makes everything much smoother. I don't really care for the gestures that they have too much. I've found that it's a little picky and a little sensitive when it comes to hitting just the right spot on the screen. So I prefer to currently use the toolbar and shrink it down when you're in YouTube or something. Swipe up and it brings it back over the gestures. I was using on my note. I was using the Fluid app here. But for some reason, there's an issue with when I go in to enable it and turn on the accessibility surfaces of it. It just randomly decides to turn off every once in a while, and I have to go back in and do it. So until they fix that, I'll just use the built-in navigation bar or go into Smart Assistant buttons and slippery gesture and the bottom one here, and I don't mind that one too much. It's pretty quick. Swipe up here, get into my app switcher. Everything seems to be working pretty good, pretty quick so far. When it does reload, it reloads pretty fast. That's what I was talking about with the touch issues. It's a little picky. As for the camera, the only issue I've had was when I would tap here to go look at my photos and tap to edit. Once I'd apply at edit and hit to save, I would get stuck on this screen every once in a while and have to swipe down from the top of the screen and go into settings here, and then I would have to get out of settings in order to get back to the home screen, because none of the back buttons or any of the things would work and I get frozen up in the camera. As for photos, I actually have an album here where I took some photos. These are all ones I took yesterday. I did do some minor editing using the Snapseed app, But other than that, these are right out of the phone, and this one was of the fan in the and it's quite dark out, and there's not very much grain. Here's another one of my iPad screen. Mr. TechRite right there, my brother. Shout out to TechRite. I thought this was funny because he had a hockey stick jammed in the back of his semi-truck tractor there. Just so it will focus through the window of the mirror and that. My vape. Just for an example of a close-up shot. This isn't even with bokeh turned on. And that's not either. This one's right out of camera too. I did add a what do you call it? Effect around it to darken around it, and should be one more. Yep, one more there. And then a selfie. Straight out of the camera there. Not too bad. As for audio, I can give a little example here. I'll go to YouTube and I'll play one of my own videos. Go to the library. I'm gonna go play one of my own videos. I'll do the unboxing part 2 here just so you can see an audio example. Let me rotate here.
Next. Don't copy.
The audio is quite loud, but unfortunately it's only a single mono firing speaker, and it gets really like pitchy when the volume's all the way up, and it kind of crackles.
I'll be right back with you.
Let me give you an example here. This is some sleep music that I play. It's free. It's open source audio. You can get a little video example here too. But as you can see, if I cover up the speaker, it muffles quite easily. But the one thing I will say is if I plug in headphones through the 3.5mm headphone jack there, or I use a USB-C adapter and plug in headphones through that, the audio is wonderful. It's as good, if not better, than my Note 9. I would say it's at least as good as my Note 9. Maybe not as loud, like I do tend to have to turn it up quite a bit, but it gets quite loud. I use my AKG headphones that came with my Note 9, and it's wonderful. If you have any other questions, as always, comment and subscribe, and feel free to post down below. Just a little update here. Also, I will say that, interestingly enough, when we were out and about the other day, I was getting full signal on AT&T while we were at the mall, over by Grand Rapids. I was getting full signal AT&T, full bars on this phone, but my iPhone 10 here, for some reason, was not. And I was getting better signal. I can show you some speed tests I got here. Real quick. Speed test. Come on. Results. You can see, I have some LTE around here. I get around 10 to 12 down, and about 4 to 6 up. And then when we were out and about, you can see I was getting some decent speeds all the way up to about 34 down and 23 up, ranging around 30 to 34 down and around anywhere from 7 to 23 up. And on Wi-Fi, I get around 70 down and around 6 up, which is what I get on my Note 9 and my iPhone on our data here. I get HD voice calling. Everything's good so far. It seems to be quick. I can give you a little example of the facial recognition here. I can try to give you an example at least. We'll see if I can get the right angle on this. I'm going to do this. There you go. You see it unlocked. Let me lock it. Let me bring the camera up so you can see. Fingerprint, it's fast. Facial recognition doesn't work that well in the dark. Or even with low light. So what I tend to do is go into the settings here. Go into face unlock. I gotta put in my PIN real quick. And turn on the screen brightness. So now I can show you face unlock, fill screen, and right into it. Sorry for if it goes really bright. I'm just trying to show you here, and it's a little hard with. But it tends to be pretty fast, goes right into it. You can turn that function off in those settings if you want, where you can have it turn off the unlock the enable face recognition when screen is lit, so that way you have to swipe up like you'd have to do on the iPhone. Anyways, my name is Michael Pepper, and as always, have a good day and God bless.